All right, guys, I got to apologize. It's been busy, so I haven't gotten you the update in a timely manner. We are now in November 2nd, and I'm getting you the update for September or October. September numbers, but our October housing update. So we're a little behind. I wanted to get this out to you. It's going to be a shorter video than normal. We're going to hit through these numbers in a couple weeks. I'll give you a more thorough update for November, which is October numbers. So the market's doing what I expected it to do. We've been talking about this for a while. So if you go to the last few market updates, you've seen me talking about what I thought was going to happen. The market's going up like this, and then it was going to plateau out. And there might have been a little correction because one of the things that a lot of agents could get away with is when the market was going up extraordinarily fast month over month, you could get away with pricing your home for what you think the market was going to be. But if you priced the home what you think the market was going to be next month, and that month is not what it was in the past few months, then you have a problem and you're fighting the market and you're fighting to drop your price and find buyers and so on and so forth. That's why pricing is so important right now. And you need to know what the market is doing, not what you hear in the news, not what you hear in the media, not what you hear from your friends or Facebook or any of those places, what you actually see with the data that is going on. And that's why I do these videos. So we're going to get into this. I'm going to do the screen recording thing that I've done in the past few times that you seem to like. We're looking at single family, we're looking at resale. On top of this particular data, which is all of our MLS, the other thing I want to talk about is what I'm hearing from other agents and what I'm seeing from other agents, the conversations, the high-level conversations with other agents that sell a massive amount of business. I want to know what they're seeing. Are they seeing what I'm seeing? Are they seeing something different? Are they seeing something very similar to me? Because if we're all seeing the same thing with what's happening to our listings and our buyers, then we can start to extrapolate a pattern or a theme, but a little bit quicker than what this data shows, the media, Facebook, all that Nextdoor, all that kind of stuff. So, and our brokerage, Coldwell Banker Apex, sells one house on average every 48 minutes. That is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That is a lot of houses. I think we're like at 3 billion this year in sales so far, just for this year. The nice thing is I'm one of those top agents that has these high-level conversations with a lot of other top agents that have a lot of transactions. So I have a lot more data than you can find anywhere else on what the market is doing and what the market's doing right now. Not yesterday, not a few days ago, not a few weeks, months, etc. Right now. And that's why we need to price your house. That's how we need to market your house. We need to be aware of all of that. So let's get started. Median price is up. It is up 20% year over year since 2020 and up over the 2 years, 34% on median in North Texas. And this is our whole MLS. So all of North Texas area. 34% over the past 2 years. 20% over 1 year. 20% same-store sales growth or year-over-year growth is insane. That is a huge number. However, we are seeing kind of a plateau in that median sales price. So if we go back a little bit, we're going to go back to May of 2021 right here. We're looking, again, we want to look at the most updated data. So if we go back here, so right now we're at 335. If we go back to October of last year, we were at 288. That's about a 20% increase. We go back over here in 2019, that is about 34% increase. Let's see here. Then we go back, and I want to look at the few month over month because that is what helps give us the information we need to make strategic decisions right now in the market for buyers and sellers. May, 335, 334.5, basically 335 median sales price. June jumped up 344, pretty significant jump. Now we're back at 335, 336. It's pretty darn close. 335, 335, 335. October, don't pay attention to those numbers. It might be the same. These numbers aren't accurate for about another week because a lot of agents still have stuff to close out. That might be a sneak peek of what what it's going to look like for October. So this is that plateau I was talking about. We jumped up here, this spike right here. That was this growth that we've been talking about for a while, and then now we're plateauing. Prices aren't dropping, but if you thought this line, I wish I could draw a line. If you thought this line was going to keep going up and it's going to go up here, and you were pricing your house as a real estate agent or as a seller, and you were pricing up here, what happened? You sat on the market, you dropped your price. You sat on the market, you're fighting the market. That you don't want to do that. You want to know what the market's doing right then. What houses are on the market right now available? You need to price according to those. You need to price according to comps as well. Those are the two factors that it comes into play when you're pricing your house for sale. What is the house worth according to comps, which are typically delayed about 30 days because most closings are about 30 days. So the contract was executed 30 days ago if it's closing today, ballpark, right? So that's lagging information. We're not using what's happening right now. The other thing we need to look at is what's active on the market. What is currently on the market and currently for sale, or what has just gone under contract? And can we get a read on what's going on with those houses? That will give you the data to know how do we need to price, what do we need to do to market. Obviously, we go all out to market, but what do we need to do to get your house sold for the most amount of money in the least amount of time for you with the least amount of stress, right? So we want to put as much money in your pocket as possible, but a lot of sellers, they don't want to see their home on the market for 6 months. So we need to take that into consideration as well. Now that I'm blabbing on for a while, I don't know if this is going to be a short video. Median sales price. We talked about that. Median sales price, it's strong, but you might go, oh, there was a dip right here. That's horrible. But year over year, it's still higher than it was in April, and it's way higher than the past few years, right? The other thing I want to talk about, new homes on market has gone down. Closed homes have also gone down. So the homes that are just hitting the market in the month of September, which is this is supposed to be our October update, the number of homes coming on the market dropped, and the number of closings dropped. Super typical this time of year. If you look at these trends, if we back up 5 years, 10 years, whatever, we see these same trends. Our peak of the number of houses, let me go to the number of new listings. Our peak, May, June, and it drops, right? So we have less houses going on the market, and we have less houses sold. Same thing here. Historically, I like 2019 because 2019 was kind of a normal year. 2020 was not a normal year. So we drop. We have less houses for sale, and we have less houses that are coming on the market. That's one of the things I tell sellers about this time of year. They're like, oh, should I wait till spring? No, you should sell whenever you're ready. Your house could be worth less in the spring. Your house could also be worth more in the spring. So if you're waiting to sell, sell when it works for you. Sell when it works for your family. When if you want to go through the holidays, go through the holidays. If you want to be in a new house for the holidays, be in a new house for the holidays. So sell when it works for you and it makes sense. Don't try to time it with what you think the market's going to do because we never know. We can't predict the future. This time of year, the nice thing is there's less houses for sale. So there's not as much competition on the market. So when you put your house up for sale, chances are there are not going to be as many or any houses just like yours for sale. So if a buyer is looking for a house like yours and they look around your neighborhood and they're like, well, that's the only one that fits what we want, they're going to buy your house. During the summer, during those really high, popular, busy months, you have a bunch of buyers in the market, which is great, but you also have a bunch of sellers. And now your house might look very similar to buyers as your neighbor's house and your other neighbor's house. So you have more competition there. There's more buyers, but there's also more sellers. During this time of year, there's less sellers, there's less buyers. So is there one better than the other? I don't know. It really depends on what you're trying to do. And that's what I do with my sellers all the time as we talk through it. We're talking, a lot of times 3 or 6 months before they list their property, we're having a conversation about what does it look like, what do we need to do, what I think the market's doing, when do they need to sell, what it's worth now, blah, 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 right? Because I want them to be informed and understand what's going on. Supply, that is the magic number. That is the number that I really like talking about because if you were going to know one number and you needed to know one number to know what your market is doing, it is the monthly supply. 6 months of inventory is a balanced market. Anything less than 6 months of inventory is a seller's market. Anything more than 6 months of inventory, buyer's market, right? So we typically, in North Texas, hang around that under 6 month seller market. North Texas is a very popular place to live. It is a very desirable place to live. And housing prices, even though they have gone up massively, they're still pretty affordable for what you're getting. It's still a lot of house, especially when you include no income tax. When you include cost of living is still low. Gas prices, yes, they're higher than what we're used to, but they're still lower than some areas. But anyways, monthly supply is that one number that I want you to look at if you want to know what's going on in your market. Monthly inventory is going up. As monthly inventory goes up, it's easier to buy a house. So I would love to see this number in 2.5 months, 3 months, because that's kind of where the sweet spot is. If we're up in that 2 to 3 month inventory, it's comfortable to sell and it's comfortable to buy. When we're in this 1 month inventory, it's comfortable to sell, it's not as comfortable to buy. And I really like it when everyone has, it's just a better playing ground for everyone. I have no control over this, but I do like to see that number come up a little bit because it's going to be easier to get into houses. And if you're looking to sell, understand your home might be on the market more than a weekend. It might be on the market a few weeks moving into these months. Right now, if you price your home well and you market it well and you stage it well and all those things that we do, then you should be fine in most neighborhoods. But I would like to see that number a little bit higher, just because it just everyone's happier and less stressed out when that's the case. When you can just go out and go, oh, that's a nice house, I want to buy that one. You just buy it. You don't have to bid for it. You don't have to lose that kind of thing. So, okay, so over the last few months, we've been increasing. So March was the record. It's never been that low. It's never been 0.9 of a month or less. March 2021, 0.9 of a month. Now, the other thing to think about is if you're comparing these numbers to previous videos, sometimes these numbers fluctuate just a little bit. It shouldn't be outside of the margin of error, or it shouldn't be statistically relevant. I don't know, whatever, those fancy terms. But it could change just a little bit over the month. So if you see these numbers a little bit different than what you saw before, don't think much about it. These are the numbers. These are current as I can get as of this video. So March, 0.9 months of inventory. Crazy town in North Texas. 1 month of inventory, also crazy town. 1 month, 1.2, 1.4. We dropped a little bit in August and September, and we're back down to 1.2. But again, don't think much about October. That little jump right there, we don't know for sure. We got to wait a week or so to get really good data because a lot of agents are still plugging in their information. But we're down here. I like that this is kind of trending up, but the last couple months it's gone down. So I don't know. But inventory, the other thing I wanted to show you, if I go to this, inventory typically drops as you get into the off season, or whatever you want to call it, this time of year, right? So on inventory, highest inventory in 19 was August-ish, September-ish, August-ish, July-ish, right? Those summer months. And inventory drops. So the fact that this dropped right here is just showing, you know what? July, August, and September, maybe it just dropped because of seasonality. I wouldn't think much about this dropping right here like we're going into this crazy thing that we were in earlier this year. So that is my October update. Maybe this was shorter. Maybe it wasn't. I don't think it's going to be any shorter. But that's our October monthly update, housing update. It is for the month of September, and previously you kind of got a snapshot, or not a snapshot, but a little bonus, a little sneak peek at what October could or maybe not look like. Most of the data's in there, so maybe these will stay really similar. But hey, so this is kind of what I thought. Be sure when you're selling your house. So let's break it down. Let's do, if I'm a little more energetic, I had an espresso. So let's talk about buyers. What does this market mean for buyers? Inventory's coming up. When inventory comes up, it kind of releases the pressure on the buyers. Are we getting multiple offers for properties? A lot of properties are still getting multiple offers. A lot of properties are only getting maybe 2 offers, 4 offers, 6 offers, single-digit offers. In March, we were seeing the same type of properties that were going 20 offers, 40 offers, or more. Some of these houses were going insane with the number of offers. Anyway, so that's the buyer. The buyer, we're getting a little bit off of that pressure the way it was in the past few months, which I like. I want that lifted up. I don't have any control over it, but I want that inventory to come up a little bit because it's just more pleasant for everyone, because most sellers are also buying. And if you're selling and buying, you're like, selling, oh, that was easy. And you go to buy and you're like, oh my gosh, this is stressful. So if we can lift that a little bit, that inventory, that would be awesome for everyone involved, in my opinion. Sellers, what do you need to take from this? Sellers, you need to understand that it is important to understand what the market is doing right now. Don't look at the past 2 months and say, oh, so-and-so got $100,000 over their house. so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. The market is not what it was 2 months ago. The market is not what it was a month ago. And so chances are when you're talking to people, they don't have current data. They have the data that they had. And sometimes when consumers, what they're seeing from the market is very different than what the market is actually doing. So make sure you hire a professional like myself to help you analyze the data, understand what's going on in your market, and to be able to take advantage of it as much as possible as a seller or as a buyer and as a buyer. So that's what I got. I appreciate you joining me. My name is Jordan Bellinger. I'm with the Bacon Bellinger Real Estate Group at Coldwell Banker Apex in North Texas. Anything you need in North Texas, whether you want some data, you want some advice, so on and so forth, you need to sell or you need to buy something, let us know. Let me know. I'm happy to help you. If you're not in North Texas and you are anywhere else in the world, almost anywhere else in the world, let me know. Let me connect you with one of our agents across the globe to help you with the same things I can help you with here. I'm not an expert in Florida. I'm not an expert in New Jersey, but I have agents in those places that are experts. So that's what I got, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.